So let's have a look at what's supposed to happen then in the coming days with Brexit. Tonight, of course, MPs will get that chance to vote on the Prime Minister's withdrawal agreement, including the changes agreed with the EU, which she says are legally binding. This is the second meaningful vote on the deal. In the previous one in January, the government was defeated by 230 votes. If the deal passes this time, the major barrier to the UK leaving the EU on the 29th of March will have been cleared, although further legislation will be required to ensure a smooth exit. But if MPs vote against the deal again, the government has said it will table more votes. Well, starting with a vote tomorrow, in which MPs will be asked if they support leaving the EU without a withdrawal agreement and a framework for the future relationship on the 29th of March. This is essentially giving MPs the opportunity to decide whether to back or rule out the UK leaving the EU with no deal in place. If that no-deal option is rejected the following day, Thursday, MPs have been promised a vote on whether they support a short extension of Article 50's two-year negotiating period. If MPs back this motion, then the UK will ask the EU for an extension beyond the original deadline of Friday, the 29th of March. Well, I'm joined now by the Conservative MP, Gillian Keegan, who's in Westminster this morning. Good morning to you. And the UK is going to need that extension, isn't it? Because surely it's not possible to pass all the legislation that's required now in time for the original 29th of March deadline.
Well, that may possibly be true. There's different opinions actually about how much is actually critical to be done before March 29th and how much afterwards. But I think if it's a technical extension, I don't think anybody would be that concerned about it. The most important thing is, do we have an agreement? Do we have a way forward? If we need a technical extension after that, then that will be the easiest thing to achieve.
Talking to colleagues this morning, what's your sense of whether people who haven't previously backed Theresa May's deal might be prepared to support it this evening?
Well, I think it was actually clear yesterday, even before the Prime Minister came back with a statement, that they were very much hoping that they would get something from Brussels that would enable them to vote for the deal. They very much want to vote for the deal. I think the key thing for many colleagues is, does this satisfy the DUP? Well, are they more comfortable that they won't be stuck in this sort of backstop arrangement for a long, long time? And then, of course, the Attorney General's opinion is critical as well. But I think for most colleagues, if those two hurdles are passed, then they would be comfortable enough to consider voting for the deal.
But Theresa May hasn't secured legally binding changes to the withdrawal agreement itself, has she? Which is what she said she was setting out to try and achieve in recent weeks.
You know, it's astonishing what we've all become pseudo-experts in now. The reality is, as long as there is legal draft that adds to the withdrawal agreement, it doesn't really matter whether it's a change of the withdrawal agreement or it changes the impact of the withdrawal agreement. And that's what the Attorney General will obviously be giving his advice on. You know, where it sits is less relevant. What it does and what comfort it gives is much more relevant. And if you read what they've obviously tried very hard to address the concerns that people have made, and you know, I understand commercial contracts, but I'm not a lawyer. And they've obviously tried very hard in this sort of structure that they've set out to address the concerns. And as long as the Attorney General thinks that they have legal force, that will override that. You know, if we are in the backstop, there'll be a process which, you know, applies, and these are legally forcible. Then that's fine. You often have separate legal arrangements on top of legal arrangements. That's quite common.
OK, Gillian Keegan, we must leave it there, but thank you very much for your time.